Hello, this is Alex, and
I'm Antonio.
this is our podcast for
Yo.
the wonderful Miss Gray.
Indeed.
So I'll let Antonio start with his quotes and his lessons that he learned from the books.
Okay. I'll talk a little bit about like the books as well. So, I read the three books that I chose for this assignment were Brother, written by David Sharandi, Scarborough, written by Catherine Hernandez, and Mouse, written by Art Spiegelman. These books were really, really good. I enjoyed every single one of them. I found them really interesting, entertaining, and they're just fantastic. Like, really well written. So these books all taught me about like struggles that people experience. One of the brothers, like the book Brother, it taught me about like friendships and relationships, because like the brothers both had like a good bond, and they had good bonds with their friends as well. And of course, one of the brothers also had a girlfriend, or not really a girlfriend, but like they were like talking, right? Like they were really close.
Yeah.
So it also teaches you about like relationships as well. The other books.
Wait.
Scarborough?
Wait.
Yeah.
For Brother, what was it about?
What was it about? Okay. So, Brother was about it's about these two brothers living in the projects of Scarborough. They would face like terrible police brutality, and they would like try to work their way out of the projects with their music. Like, I know one of the brothers was like he would like write music with his friends, and one part in the book, it was like closer to the end, they had like a whole show at the CNE. It was inside one of the big areas, like one of the big buildings, and they had a show in there, and then it was like really, really well. And then afterwards they would face like extreme racism from the security and the police, and unfortunately the older brother would then end up being killed by the police. They got stopped for no reason, and they killed him, which was sad. So yeah. But yeah, as I was saying, the other book, Scarborough, it taught me about like strategies that people would use to move around like racism, like neglect, hatred from people, and yeah, like all of that stuff, and also like mental health issues as well. So yeah, they were like pretty crazy, those two books, especially Scarborough. Scarborough was like a lot of events, crazy events too, like from abuse to extreme racism. It was really crazy, that book. But yeah, what about you?
Wait, which one was your favorite?
Oh, out of the three, I would
Yeah.
say Brother. Brother was so good, because I liked how the book was written, because it'd be written in like the present, the future, and the past. So I liked the change. And Scarborough was also written similar to that, but instead Scarborough would have like one viewpoint, and then it would change to another viewpoint, and then it would change to another viewpoint, and then it would change to another viewpoint. It was just like it would just change through all the characters throughout the books. Like one chapter would be Corey, and then the next chapter would be I can't remember, but it was an indigenous girl, right?
Yeah.
So it would just be different characters each chapter, right? So yeah, I kind of like that style of the books. But yeah, Brother was definitely my favorite.
Okay. For me, I read 3 books: Life of Pi by Jan Martel, Mouse by Art Spiegelman, and Born a Crown by Trevor Noah. For Life of Pi, the main point of Life of Pi was to display the will to live, but it was displayed in a very different way, with Pi and Richard Parker the tiger surviving on a boat. But one quote that I really liked about the book was, "I had no idea a living being could sustain so much injury and go on living." This really touched me. Were you gonna say something?
No, go ahead.
Oh, this really touched me because no matter how difficult something may be, I learned that I have to put in effort and work in order to make progress. Especially as a soccer player and student, I need to have discipline to reach my goals.
That's good. I actually like that quote.
Yeah, thank you. For Born a Crime, I really enjoyed it actually. It was very funny because he had a lot of very hilarious childhood stories that he explained, but along with the funny stories, there was also some racism that he undergoed, if that's a word.
Yeah.
Him with his mother, but I'm just gonna say a funny story that I thought. In the story, his mother actually threw him out of like a moving bus.
What?
Yeah, cause they went to stop for a mini. Oh, I think it was they got thrown out of a car, or one of them. Like they stopped for a minibus, but the bus never came, and then they got picked up by a car, and then they realized that they were like getting kidnapped. So then his mom, I think Trevor was asleep or something, and then his mom woke Trevor up and threw him out the car, and she jumped. So that was very funny. And for Mouse I really enjoyed, but like the way it was written and the pictures, they're very interesting.
Strong.
Yeah, and even though I didn't really experience much of this, I guess I don't even know how to explain it. It didn't really relate to me, but it really showed me how other people get neglected and people get treated who are just different than us.
Yeah, just because they were Jewish, right? Just because they're either Jewish, black, or gay.
Yeah,
the Nazis wouldn't like them, right? And they would just send them to these camps.
Yeah, they were getting punished for that, but
exactly
that never should have happened.
Yeah.
That's it for my explanations. Here.
Actually, I have a question for you, Alex.
Yes.
Out of the three, like I know you asked me, but what was your favorite?
That's actually a good question. They were all very good, but my favorite would probably be Born a Crime.
Why is that?
Because it was just hilarious. Like all the stories he had were just funny. It was a very good written book, and it really disguised the racism with like funny jokes. Like he wrote it very well to where he explained like very harsh racism in a very, I'm not gonna say funny way, but like he cut it like in half to where
he didn't make it so serious.
Yeah, but without the serious fact about it, which I found very good, and I really enjoyed it.
Okay, that's good.
For you, what was your like, what really changed your look on life, or what really changed your thinking of life after reading these books?
You know what? After reading Mouse, it just changed and like showed how lucky I am for the things that I have, because when you look back in the days, right, you see 1939 to like 1945, the whole Holocaust thing, and Nazi Germany invading everyone, and then you just see all these people that just because they believe in a different religion, stuff like that, right? Just because they're Jewish, they would think of them as aliens, and they would like put them in these camps, and like they would just make them work for them, and it just shows how lucky I am that I don't have to go through that, and that I wouldn't have to be worried to go through that because I'm not Jewish, right? Because I'm Greek and Italian, so I know I wouldn't have to go through that. So it just shows me that I'm lucky for the things that I have, and that I didn't have to grow up during that time to be living through the war, be living through the Holocaust, and just like having to be worried of like bombs dropping on my head, right? So it just makes me feel good. Like I don't know, sorry, just it just shows me how lucky I am. I guess
Yeah,
I'll say.
it shows you like how lucky you are to live in this year and age or day and age
In
where
this good country, right, where we don't
Yeah.
have to go through that stuff.
there's not much crime, there's not much racism going on.
Well, racism hasn't really changed a lot. Well, yeah, it's gotten better, but like
It's gone better.
as I was
but-
saying in the book Brother, like that book didn't take place a long time ago, right? Maybe like 10 years ago, and there's still
Really?
major police brutality. Yeah, the book Brother didn't take place a long time ago.
Oh,
Yeah, it's still bad, but yeah, it's definitely gotten better.
yes. Okay, I think that's a little. I don't know how long that was. I didn't really time it, but that's the end
I think
of
that was
our podcast. I hope you
Yo.
enjoyed, Miss Gray.
Mhm.
Bye. Tell you
Bye,
want to
Miss
say
Gray.
bye.